Welcome back. I got my next guest here, Linda Guzman Ellenberger.
Hi.
Hi. Tell me about your business. It's Elevate Brain Training.
Yeah, we hear so much about training for the body. But we just saw a segment on training for the body, training for the muscles. We hear a lot about heart health, but we don't hear a lot about brain health. And think about this. Your brain is command central, right? It's your boss. And so if there is something not quite right with the brain, what I'm talking about is the delicate electromagnetic activity. There has to be a delicate balance maintained. If it's not maintained, then what do we have? We suffer from all kinds of conditions: anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, sleepiness, daytime sleepiness, nighttime sleeplessness. You have fibromyalgia, you have chronic fatigue, you have ADD, ADHD, right? Attention, concentration, focus challenges. In our fast-paced world, we have stress, right? Tons of stress. We're supposed to work ourselves to the bone, right? And it's glorified if we just maybe sleep on 3 or 4 hours of sleep per night, right? Well, that wears down the brain, and so I'm feeling it right now a little bit. I'm involved in a move. Anyway, so high stress, high-paced or fast-paced world. So having some brain training where the brain learns how to balance out its calm states. For instance, if we're running too high, too fast, like an engine driving us, right? You see those little kids that parents say, "God, little Johnny won't slow down. They're going, 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 going." Well, I have a system, Neurofeedback, that teaches the brain, slow down, brain, and it's a permanent change so that, you know what, maybe Johnny doesn't need to go on meds, or maybe he can get off of his meds, so that the brain can learn to permanently better regulate itself so that we can then work better, feel better, play better, study better, sleep better. So, for instance, I've had a lot of children. I have ages from age 4 to 77 I've worked with. So you have people coming in with all kinds of challenges. I had a 6-year-old who came in with attentional challenges. She was flunking first grade, Johnny. Wow. How many kids flunk first grade? Well,
I probably did. I don't remember back that far. So it's probably my problem.
If a little girl is flunking first grade, she's not wanting to flunk first grade. There's a reason for it. So her parents brought her in. Her brain was running too slow. So she had too much of what's called kind of a daydreamy brainwave, a theta brainwave, too much underactivation. So her brain was taught to speed up. The parents didn't want to put her on meds. Well, in only 7 to 10 sessions, she was passing first grade. And in fact, I have a picture of her available. She's sitting with Miss Unicorn. She's having a great time, just interacting with a computer. All you do, you come into the office. It's very comfortable. You sit down. You have a laptop in front of you. You interact with the laptop. You have headphones on. You have some tones guiding your brain, just like a personal trainer guides you.
And it's like a test that's just going to kind of assess what it is you need, or
well, actually, where you're deficient? You get feedback from a computer, and then I'm there to coach the person along. But you get feedback from the computer, and it's actually the brain, which is the organ, that gets the feedback. So you don't really know if you're doing a good job or not. Your brain is getting the feedback, and your brain goes, "Oh, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Okay." And then when it's doing a good job, it gets positive feedback through the tones and through some visuals on the computer system. And then when it's not doing such a great job, then what happens? Well, there's some negative feedback, but you don't know what's negative or positive. The brain knows. It's kind of like the operant conditioning that we heard about maybe in college with Ivan Pavlov or our psychology class in high school.
The dog and the bell.
Yeah, and the saliva. So the dog knew whenever the bell rang, well, there should have been food. Well, there was always saliva whether or not there was food, right? Same thing with the brain. The brain gets positive feedback. So through operant conditioning, the brain learns, oh, I need to speed up more, or I need to slow down more. So folks, let's say with a generalized kind of anxiety, generally they may need to learn how to speed up. Their brain needs to learn how to speed up. Again, it's all about that delicate electromagnetic balance. You have to maintain the brain. It's nothing that you can read to get better. It's nothing, talk therapy can help, but When you get to the big guns, the heavy hitter, like neurofeedback, also called EEG biofeedback or neurotherapy, in 20 to 30 sessions, that's the average that people need to get back to whatever functioning they either were at or to get to be at a better functioning that they ever were in. And I got into this because I had
I was just going to ask.
Oh,
you. Yeah,
mild
go ahead.
traumatic brain injury.
No kidding.
Nothing mild about MTBI. I went over my handlebars at 15 miles per hour, got blindsided.
Wow.
I used to be very active, broke all of this part of my face, broke my neck, nose, teeth, nose, jaw.
Wow.
Major breakage. Then after that, I noticed this downward spiral, and I couldn't bring myself up out of this downward spiral. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was sleeping during the day. I had to take medical leaves. I was depressed with thyroid issues. Sorry, I was diagnosed with thyroid issues, but then it wasn't really the case. And then I was diagnosed with depression, but I knew I wasn't depressed, and I had all these different diagnoses, but no one until 3.5 years later diagnosed me with post-concussive syndrome. So then my chiropractor said, well, why don't you try neurofeedback? It was only after the neurofeedback that then I got my attention back that I had pre-injury.
Wow.
I got my ability to concentrate for hours at a time. I got my ability to sleep again back, because I'd never had troubles with sleeping or attention. Even speaking a sentence, it was like climbing Half Dome on a daily basis, just trying to get a sentence out. And I was a teacher. So here I am, this English teacher, and I'm in this groove, and I've been teaching for quite a while, so I was able to just go through the motions, but I felt like I was on the outside looking in, and I just had a blankness about me. Didn't socialize much, had maybe 4 to 6 good functioning hours per day, was on the couch a lot, whereas before my injury I was very active. Anyway, so that's where my passion for this comes from, because whenever I have a client come in, I can relate on some level to whatever it is, their anxiety or their depression or their fatigue, or they have these symptoms and they don't know why. Well, it isn't so much, the why isn't so important as let's get to the root cause, and let's get you permanently changed so that your brain can permanently function at its best, so that you can be the best version of yourself, feel better, sleep better, perform better, work better, speak better, everything, have better relationships.
Yeah, sometimes we just tolerate those things and let them become part of our life instead of getting the help that we need.
Exactly.
Almost the assumption that it's normal.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I had a client, 24-year-old, who came in and said, I was underneath a tree, laying down on the grass, and I asked myself, is this all there is? Because if there is, I want to die. Because his anxiety was so debilitating, he wasn't able to work, he wasn't able to go to school. Now he's earning straight A's at school, at college, and he's able to work, and he's thriving, and he feels great.
That's a great success story.
Yeah, it is.
So you got into this because of your own injury.
Right,
And, did you go to school for this, or what is it that...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is offered
It's
in
not,
college.
okay.
I have very specific training from a man who's been in the field, who created the system that I use in my office. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's a pioneer in the field. He started this company called Brain Paint, and so I have hours and hours of training. I want to say, 200 hours of training, and then I have continual training.
You guys stay up to date on advancements in neuroscience and things
absolutely,
like that.
Absolutely. And then it's a company that strives for quality assurance. And so what the leaders of this company, or the CEO and his team, he has a team of Harvard researchers, Harvard University researchers, who are always looking at, how can we make this service even better, so that maybe a child who comes in with ADHD, maybe his symptoms can be normalized in 20 sessions instead of 30, or 25 sessions instead of 35. And that's what I like. I love the efficiency and the elegance and the beauty of the system, where it's very systematic, and you don't just come forever. or you don't just come one time a week here and one time a week there. You come twice a week or more. I have a client right now who's coming about 7 to 8 times a week because she wants to get better faster. So the more you come, the faster you get better, and then you can, spread your wings and fly and thrive. But again, generally, most clients fit into that 20 to 30 session average. And you don't need to come back unless you abuse your brain like my husband does. And he's a mechanical engineer, very driven, high stress. And so when he tells me, Linda, I need a tune-up, then he comes in. Again, because if you're going to abuse your body, you're going to need to let it recover, right? Well, so people who are very driven can tend to be worn down. Age can be kind of like a form of brain injury because you have so much life that's come at you, right? And your brain just wears down. It can only take so much.
That makes sense. So how can people stay in touch with you, and are you on the web?
I am. I have a very informative website, www.elevatebraintraining.com. You can email me through that website. I actually built that website with a ton of research. So you can go to the About Neurofeedback page and find, okay, if I have a condition that I think maybe neurofeedback could help with, you look on the list and you find that condition, and then there are links to research. I have videos there. I have success stories there. I have my own story about Elevate Brain Training, my injury and my comeback from that. And I would not have been able to do this interview with you, let's say 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
You're kidding.
Just because now I'm fairly fluid, right?
Yeah.
Speaking. But back
great.
then, and I was a teacher, and I was a speech teacher and trained in public speaking, and anyway, so that's my story.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
You're very blessed to be alive here and sitting with us.
I am, and not paralyzed, and able to think clearly and work.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and I hope you come back sometime and
Johnny.
keep us updated on what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice to meet you. We'll be right back.